Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Friday, September 10th, 9:04 a.m. here in the Arizona desert in a currently still jab-free green zone. All right, so BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you here. Uh, Stocks, bonds, dollars, and cryptos are all tumbling, so says Zero Hedge here, and maybe we're seeing a bit of a turnaround. So let's keep looking and we'll find out. Looking at Coin 360 for the last hour, well, we're still in the green. Oh, in the red. Actually, I've watched a lot of things kind of be, they're flickering between green and red last hour as far as gains or losses. So DOT is doing well. Luna's been cranking, seen some action out of Algo. So we are seeing some alts that are making some gains, little pump and dumps. Trade carefully, my friends. Bybit, one thing about the other day, this is a great. I linked this over at Bitcoin Daily View under indicators that I use. Total liquidations over Bybit. This is a lot of fun to look at. I do believe it is a summation of a lot of major exchanges here. And as you can see, the other day when we had that dump, it was a massive liquidation of longs. I think like 4 billion in longs. So basically, you can see that's what happened the other day, and we're still seeing longs getting wrecked more than shorts right now. So looking at total BTC futures open interest. If I refresh this, we are starting to see positive numbers here in the last 24 hours change. So we're beginning to see people get confident and go back into longs. So anyway, people are starting to use leverage again. They're getting confident after that massive long wreckage. So right now the sentiment overall is long on exchanges, as you can see by the green here. So we can estimate that most of these are beginning to see positive numbers for 24-hour changes are probably longs. All right, so people are getting confidence to go long again with leverage. Looking at spot trading, pairs on Binance last 24 hours, we're seeing 33 billion. I like to see about 50 billion for a good day, so we're definitely a little bit low as far as spot trading volume, and we're down 11% last 24 hours. We'll see how that changes. We're just beginning to turn up. If we look at the 7-day graph, we're beginning to see the market wake up a little bit here on Friday. I like to see above 70 billion. For derivatives for futures on Binance, and we're seeing 79 billion. That's not bad. We're down 13.8% last 24 hours. Let's see how that continues. The market's definitely in a lot of turmoil. We were at like 3 billion something in Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours not too long ago, and recently we actually are now at 4.1 billion. So we're beginning to tick up a little bit of volume right now, and the market is reflecting that. Bitcoin's definitely been flaccid this morning, but it's starting to see some signs of life, and that's actually helping alts that have been fighting to stay positive. It's helping them push, and it's helping alts that have been a bit wrecked by that this morning begin to turn towards positive. 2.3 billion of that basically is on Binance, and Coinbase did not break a billion. So really, we're definitely at low volume for spot trading. Be careful. I'm going to refresh this. Longs versus shorts sentiment on Binance to be exact here. 68% long, 31% short for Bitcoin on Binance. Looking at Ethereum, longs versus shorts on Binance, 70% longs, 29% shorts. So we are definitely seeing a long bias right now, and that's kind of reflected here. We can see this summation, total liquidation. And sorry about that. I went the wrong way. Anyway, now let's keep cruising along here. Are we gonna see a Bart Simpson pattern correction? I did it over here, and you can see a little bit more clearly. We'll visit this in just a second. We really are, in my opinion, definitely in some Bart territory. If we just look at this pattern, it tends to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, daily chart here. Are we going to see a Bart completion? It's possible, right? We could. Now, with that said, this is 100. This is a 50 moving average in the white and 100 in the green. So right now on the daily chart, we are possibly making a bounce off the 50 moving average. That would be pretty slick. It's a place we could bounce definitely. If we look at the directional index, we're in the red still. That's not looking too positive. Looking at the squeeze indicator, we're still going the wrong way. KRI in the red. Looking at the stochastic RSI, how are we doing there? Let's see if I can get this to maximize. Beginning the tangent there is beginning to turn positive in the nice buy zone. So maybe we're going to see a bounce there. We'll have to just see. Looking at the wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear, we're still trending down. So let's see if we can get a 100 moving average bounce out of Bitcoin today. That would be a very positive thing. Looking at now the 200 moving average on the daily, now the white is the 200 moving average and the blue here is the 314. Are we going to see a bounce off that 200 moving average on the daily? If we don't, then, well, that's just going to suck. So, I mean, this way things go. All about, it's bounce time for Bitcoin. And we are going into a weekend and there's low volume. So let's just see how this rolls. One thing I am watching on the daily chart here, I think I would just suggest everyone watch, is the daily MACD. It's just pure shit, to be honest with you. Let's see if we see this tangent begin to go positive. Anyway, Bitcoin, it's all about what's going to happen next. If I would just say, looking at the daily chart, if we can't get support on this 200 moving average for real, it would not surprise me if we're going to see a 40K Bitcoin before a bounce. All right, but looking at the 45-minute chart for immediate price action, this is a beautiful, possible BART pattern playing out. Let's see if we get it. Boom, boom, boom. I call that an inverted BART. So let's just see. It could happen. But looking at the 45-minute indicators, I'm really not seeing a whole lot. I mean, maybe we're going to see a bounce, a turnaround here on the 45-minute chart. Maybe. But let's look at the 4-hour chart and see how we're going. Now, see, that will be wild. You can really see that BART pattern on the 4-hour chart. I mean, boom. Could we pull it off? Could we? I think it's possible. Let's see how it goes. The directional index is still in the red, but if we do look, I mean, it is slowly. Sorry about that. It is slowly working its way up. We are seeing, a bit of a positive momentum here, where it's still in the red, but the directional index we are beginning to see some, positive trend going that way. KRI is slowly working its way up. But Lazy Bear indicator, wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear, it's still trending down. Anyway, I mean, Bitcoin just doesn't have a whole lot of upwards, mobility, upwards volume, upwards pressure. I mean, who knows? We shall see. Here on the 4-hour chart, if we did bounce off the 314 moving average, so below the 10 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and we have wicked down to the 314 moving average. If we bounce off the 314 moving average right now, that'd be around 44,150. That's a possible point, possible spot I would look for a bounce. Anyway, there's not too much exciting right now. Bitcoin, we're gonna have to see what happens. Ethereum, pretty much just doing what Bitcoin is doing. I'd love to think that it has broken free from Bitcoin's influence, but it has not. So we'll see. I mean, maybe, quite likely, maybe we'll see, Ethereum pull that bar pattern. Maybe it could. Ethereum, indicators are. Yeah, I can't see much in the 45-minute chart. The market's just too dumpy to really make any predictions. The market's going to show us what it's going to do when it's going to do it. Maybe we'll get that beautiful BART pattern from Ethereum. Anyway, 4-hour chart on Ethereum, it's not great either. So anyway, although I can say what's nice, looking at the 4-hour chart, we're still in the zone where we could see a 200 moving average bounce, which is not quite the case for Bitcoin. Looking at the 45-minute chart for Ethereum, yeah, I mean 45-minute now, we're well below the 200 moving average. So anyway, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they'll bounce when they bounce. Some coins like Shiba Inu, as you can see, it's a 45-minute chart. These little blue diamonds, it's been bursting between the 314 and the 200 moving average because they're very close together. It's been breaking over the 200 and then under. This is like really usually what I would consider a coin that's in a position of building velocity for a run. But right now, Bitcoin is just too volatile, but it can't quite make it. Like, so Shiba Inu versus USDT is something that I'm watching to possibly get in if Bitcoin begins to get positive, because it's poised to move. DOT versus USDT, it was challenging the 200 moving average recently on the 45-minute chart. Indicators in general turning up, looking good, but the volatility's got it knocked down. It is one that I am watching, though, DOT versus USD. I was actually going to trade that one on Coinbase. So Solera, here's something I do like seeing is it's come down to the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, but it does appear that it's going to bounce. This is what I like. I like seeing that there are some alts out there that are holding their own and not just going potty because of Bitcoin's volatility. So anyway, these indicators, do look like a possible turn-up is going to happen. They're in the right place. 45-minute chart. This is immediate price action, I know, but Solera, at least versus USDT, is showing some fight and may start to move up. Nice. Looking at Solera versus BTC. It's never even actually made it to the 200. And the indicators do look possible for a turn up. It's beginning to turn up, so we can see. But I do think Sol, just like so many alts, are really all of them, they are kind of tied to Bitcoin's price action. So we might need a little bit of perkiness out of Bitcoin to see Solera move, but it could. I mean, it is definitely a player in the NFT market right now, etc. So Solera, important coin, doing things, and it has had a chance to cool off recently a little bit from its recent extreme pumping. Looking at Algorand. Um, anyway, as you can see, a break above the 200 moving average. It was cranking. It was just doing great, but it's slowing down because of Bitcoin's volatility. But still, EGLD against Elrond. I'm sorry, it's Elrond. It's still positive. Indicators are still kind of in the green. I like seeing it. This is nice. So Elrond is still pushing. So this is good to go against USDT and also Elrod, whatever. I always screw it up. EGLD. And then against Bitcoin, it's still pushing. It's a nice chart. So anyway, this EGLD is still definitely a player in the market. It's an alt that is not taking the recent volatility lying down. It's affected by it, but its chart is overall staying positive. Good to go. Luna versus USDT. It was pumping this morning like crazy. It dumped with Bitcoin's volatility. It pumped again. Now it's cooling off. Indicator, the chart is not that bad looking. That's versus USDT. And then Luna versus BTC, definitely moving, looking good. I'm just worried about these plays right now to try to scalp these because you're just getting a lot of this action right here where it's like, yes, you do see a move up, you get excited, but I mean with Bitcoin's volatility, it can just it drops quickly. Now it's coming up, who knows? These are just really hard to play. I in general like to trade my alts after Bitcoin has been above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart for at least 12 hours, preferably 24 or 48. I find that when Bitcoin is doing this kind of action on the 45-minute chart, if you are below the 200 moving average, which will be back, it just creates a lot of volatility. It creates a lot of movements like this, boom, boom. And we can look at there you go. You can see this up, down, which is natural for a chart to do. Also like this, boom. Solera versus USDT and versus BTC has been blowing chunks ever since Bitcoin dumped below the 200 moving average. So anyway, not too much inspiring today. We'll just see what's going on. Just wanted to mention, hey, check out radiantcreators.com. That's a podcast that I do. Got some new guests coming on the next week, and it's going to be pretty darn cool. Regardless of the volatility in the market, do remember that for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, these piece of shit people cry. Hi, we're building a world tyranny where everyone will be our slaves with no rights, property, or privacy. Seems that most of you are okay with that. So thanks. Well, don't help these guys out. Every Bitcoin Satoshi is definitely, another painful hemorrhoid for these old monsters. Anyway, I do believe in the peaceful revolution. Thanks for being part of it. And this weekend that we're rolling into is not particularly inspiring. We're going to have to just basically just kind of hang out and watch when Bitcoin gets perky again. So will alts. There's definitely alts that are bursting right now. Like Luna's a great one to catch. I am kind of watching Solera to make a move. EGLD continues to move up. Just be careful because even an alt that's moving right now, really in my opinion, if Bitcoin dumps more or if Bitcoin is just too volatile, it's going to push the alt market down. So just be careful. If you can make some money in alts right now, hey, go for it, of course, but just have your stops in. Be careful. Anyway, with that said, because we don't know nothing until we figure out when Bitcoin's going to bounce. When Bitcoin begins to, it would suck if it found a sideways below the 200 moving average right now. I mean, what if it finds sideways between the 214 and I'm sorry, between the 200 moving average and the 314 on the daily chart, with the MACD continuing downwards, even sideways action is going to, in general, be shitty. So I'm just going to go to an art fair this weekend and just maybe go fishing, paint something, whatever, because I think until Bitcoin is in a better place, trading just sucks. And it's not just the Bitcoin market. It's kind of like the market in general. I do think that possibly the totalitarian threats that the Biden administration put out yesterday towards states and stuff like that, and then the states pushing back, is definitely possibly part of this. Anyway, with that said, take care, and I'll see you again tomorrow.